In this demo, I will take you through the steps to move or start with so-called customer managed keys in Oracle Cloud Infrastructure for BaseDB and Exadata Cloud Services. For these steps, there are a number of steps that you have to take, and in Oracle Key Vault, we first of all create a user with create endpoint privilege. On the database VM, we need to rename the non-Oracle Key Vault PKCS 11 library so that there is no conflict between the libraries. Then we create for secrets management, first of all, a symmetric key in OCI Vault, and after that we can create a secret in OCI Vault. The next step is to create a key store, and when that's all done, we can create the database or update the database to start using customer managed keys. So first of all, let's look at Oracle Key Vault. In Oracle Key Vault, I have already created the user, so let's go there. Oracle Key Vault is for the demo empty. There's no endpoints, there's no wallets, nothing other than two users. And if I go to the users tab, you see the user itself, and we see a user with no roles, but that user has the create endpoint and create endpoint group privileges. Yeah, it needs those privileges to be able to do its work. Then in OCI, first of all, I have a vault. So from identity, let's go there, identity and security, and then to the vault. There you see my vault, and in the vault I created first of all a master encryption key. So I'm going to use this symmetric key. So when you create the key, here you choose the symmetric AES key, and with that you are able to create a secret, and that secret holds the password of the user I showed in Oracle Key Vault. So when you create a secret, you will be asked for the encryption key. You will take manual and then plain text. Here the password will be entered, and that's about it. Once that's done, we will have a look at the database server. So I'm going to log on to both nodes of my RAK cluster. So here I can go to this VM, and there, if we go to opt Oracle XDP 64 KMS, HSM KMS, in there you will find the PKCS 11 library that's default installed for communicating with OCI Vault. But here we have to rename, so I renamed it from .so to something with another extension. That's an alias ls. So here you see the renamed form, and same is true for this one. Go to this directory, you will find the shared library, the PKCS11 library has been renamed by me. So that is important because otherwise your deployment of the endpoint will fail. The endpoint is what is needed for OKV, Oracle Key Vault, for the database to communicate with Oracle Key Vault. Yeah, so next what we can do is we are going to create the key store. So here you see key stores, and I already have a key store, so let's have a look at it. I can go to the details and hit edit. So here are the IP addresses. In my case I have only one Key Vault server, but if you have a cluster then it's comma separated IP addresses. The username, this is just plain text entering the username in OKV, and then for that OKV user we have the secret, and the secret is stored in this vault and it's called restadmin2. And so with that we can go into creation of a database. So let's go to my database environment. Here I have a cluster, and from the clusters I can create a new database. So I will give it the default name based on the date, a new PDB. I select an existing database home, create a new. Then here I give the password. So let's copy and paste, not to make any mistakes. Yeah, so this is my password. And that's it. This is not relevant because we're not going to use the TDE wallet, and for that I will continue to the advanced options, and here in encryption you will find use customer managed keys. You will see OCI Vault Service or Oracle Key Vault, and OCI Vault Service is where the PKCS11 library was for, that I renamed. Now I'm using the Oracle Key Vault, and here I have my key store that I showed. Let's jump back and see that this is no longer selectable. For customer managed keys that's not relevant anymore. I will, for this demo, disable the backups and then create. Yeah, so this is going to take a little bit of time. So for time's sake, I will pause and get back to this as soon as it has finished. Database has succeeded. Database is available. We can see that customer managed keys is being used, and the key store name is here, and in OKV Oracle Key Vault this is the wallet name. So let's have a look at the Key Vault environment. First of all, the user activity report. I created a user activity report for the last 12 hours for the user called REST admin. We see first of all a check if login is successful, so that the process can continue. Then a creation of the wallet, an addition of the endpoint, one more endpoint because it's a 2-node RAC environment, real application clusters. Then we see that the default wallet is being set for the endpoint, and same for the other endpoint. And then we get the enrollment token with which we can provision the endpoint, or at least the REST API is being used for that. And that's basically it. Here we set the access for this wallet for the second node, so the endpoint of the second node. And that's it for that part. And then if we continue in the UI, we see 2 endpoints, one per node, the IP addresses, the internal IP addresses of the VMs, the endpoint names, and if I click on any of these, then you can see that the default wallet has been set to the wallet that was created during the provisioning of the database. And in there we have the master encryption key, the databases, $root and PDB1. As you remember from my creation of the database, I selected PDB1 as the PDB. Yeah, and that concludes this demo.